At sunset, Elias collapsed just before the boundary that promised him everything he thought would be enough. Modern life often rewards exhaustion and endless growth, while quietly teaching us that enough is never enough. These three stories explore wanting more, comparing more, and fearing the loss of what we already possess. Ambition can build a meaningful life, but without limits, every achievement becomes another unfinished hunger. Elias owned a modest farm, a healthy orchard, and a small home shared with his wife, Mara. Their life was simple, yet the soil fed them, the orchard paid debts, and their table stayed full. Whenever richer landowners passed, Elias suddenly saw his own fertile fields as smaller and less worthy. A steward promised every acre a farmer could circle before returning to the starting stone by sunset. The rule was clear: return before sunset or lose every acre marked during the entire day. Mara urged Elias to choose wisely, because land is useless when its owner has no strength left. Elias promised caution, but sunrise revealed valleys that awakened his pride and fear of seeming unsuccessful. He marked wider corners, convincing himself that one more field would secure his family for generations. By midday, his water was nearly gone, yet a distant meadow still looked impossible to resist. He ignored his aching legs because turning back felt like surrendering land he had never owned. As sunset approached, Elias realized he had gone too far and desperately ran toward the starting stone. His chest burned and vision blurred, while every claimed acre became useless behind his failing body. Elias collapsed near the boundary as Mara arrived, holding the bread he had been too hurried to eat. The steward said poverty had not defeated Elias. A goal expanding beyond enough had defeated him. Ambition was not the enemy. The danger began when Elias ignored its cost to health and family. Are we building a better life, or running farther because stopping might appear to others as failure? Wanting more grows stronger when comparison enters, leading us toward a merchant and his broken mirror. Adrian was a successful merchant whose ships returned with spices, silk, silver, and stories from distant ports. Customers admired his prosperity, employees respected his judgment, and rare treasures filled his elegant home. Still, Adrian watched richer merchants and noticed only the influence, servants, and rooms he lacked.
He purchased a rare mirror, hoping it would prove that he had finally surpassed every rival.
Each morning, the mirror highlighted someone's larger warehouse, finer clothing, or more celebrated reputation. Adrian replaced furniture, expanded displays, and borrowed heavily to impress people he barely even knew. Every purchase pleased him briefly, then disappeared from his attention when someone displayed something grander. One evening, Adrian struck the mirror, splitting his anxious reflection into several distorted versions. He accused the mirror maker of selling dissatisfaction instead of revealing a person's true fortune. The craftsman replied that the mirror only reflected the direction, and Adrian repeatedly trained his eyes. He turned the cracked mirror toward a servant, sharing food with an exhausted dock worker nearby. Their kindness appeared whole, showing Adrian how comparison had erased what was already meaningful. Adrian began asking whether each purchase served a purpose, supported love, or merely protected his image. His home grew simpler, his debts decreased, and meaningful conversations returned to the family table. Comparison may inspire growth, but it becomes destructive when another person's highlight makes our life seem worthless. Today, luxury posts, investment wins, and career announcements can become mirrors carried inside our pockets. Even after desire and comparison fade, possession can create another burden, the fear of losing everything. King Aurelius ruled a prosperous kingdom and kept guards outside every door of his private chambers.
Each night, he woke believing thieves, rivals, illness, or betrayal were approaching through the darkness.
He ordered stronger locks, higher walls, more soldiers, and vaults, yet fear only grew larger. From his balcony, Aurelius watched Thomas, the palace gardener, sleeping peacefully beside his simple tools. The king asked how a poor gardener could sleep while a wealthy ruler remained awake. Thomas protected what required care, but refused to rehearse every possible way it might disappear. The king gave Thomas a small chest of gold, expecting wealth to improve his peaceful life. That night, Thomas hid the chest, checked the door, and woke whenever branches touched the roof. After 3 sleepless nights, he returned the gold, saying possession had grown while freedom had shrunk.
Aurelius felt offended because the gardener seemed to reject the security and opportunity wealth could provide.
Thomas explained that wealth serves life, but becomes prison when life revolves entirely around preventing loss. The king kept his duties, but began separating sensible preparation from endless imagined catastrophe. He reduced needless guards, reopened gardens, trusted advisors, and stopped treating every relationship as betrayal. Sleep returned gradually because fear no longer ruled every quiet hour, although uncertainty still remained. Security, savings, and planning matter, yet no plan can remove every uncertainty from human life. The farmer chased expansion, the merchant superiority, and the king perfect safety, yet every finish line moved. Their hunger was understandable because society praises growth, status, and control while hiding the private cost. Rejecting ambition entirely is also unwise because goals, investment, and preparation can protect families and communities.
The deeper question is whether wanting more still serves life after it begins demanding our peace.
3 warnings appear. Satisfaction fades quickly, comparison defines worth, and fear blocks enjoyment of what we protect. Before pursuing something new, ask what it solves, what it costs, and what it might replace. To reduce comparison, notice which images trigger inadequacy, then limit the sources that repeatedly distort enough. To face fear, complete 1 realistic precaution, then stop rehearsing disasters you cannot control today. To practice enough, name 3 things supporting your life and give them attention before seeking upgrades. A meaningful life is not measured only by distance, appearance, or how tightly we guard possessions. True wealth begins when ambition has boundaries, gratitude has a voice, and uncertainty stops ruling the night. If these stories clarified a desire, subscribe to Ancient Wisdom Tales and reconsider what you are still chasing.